Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Since this morning, I hope you are still doing great. I hope that. You know, this morning we already uploaded a video where we were going through the Italian papers to see what they were saying about our beloved Juventus. And we discovered, and we were absolutely not surprised, we discovered that Juventus was already in 4th division, 4th, 3rd or 2nd anyway. We were already accused and guilty about everything. Juventus risks. Do you remember the video of this morning? Dello Sport, Corriere dello Sport, and I have to be honest, I didn't even put all the pages that were already reporting Juventus that was guilty. I told you one thing and I promised you two things. The first thing, I promised you to keep you up to date about everything that will happen in these moments, because I want to go through the real sources, to read them, to understand them, and then try to explain you as good as I know, because I am not a financial expert, I am not a lawyer, so I try to read, I try to ask to people that know a bit more than me, and try to up to date about everything regarding Juventus. A lot of thank you in the comments, and I really appreciate it. I know that you are following and also continuing to subscribe, so continue to do it, and this is a really big sign that you are trusting what I'm trying to do on this channel, and I really want to say thank you to all of you. So continue to put a maximum of like. There is Juventus that already posted in Italian on Juventus.com a communiqué, a press release on their official site, because there was a second thing that I promised you this morning, is that John Elkann is not the John Elkann of 2006. It's a more experienced, a more mature John Elkann, and this time he will defend Juventus. And this is exactly what happened a few hours after the video. If you are reading the communiqué, that probably a bit later today, or maybe during I'm recording, will be available in English. I translated it with a really disgusting handwriting, so I will read it. I'm sorry if I will not look you into the eyes. I will read it, and then we will try to understand it. And then I have another great news for you in that second part of the video. We start immediately with the words that I try to recap for you in that official communiqué, and how Juventus is defending themselves with a really big statement. So we go. With reference to what has been reported from some papers, we react. And that's the beautiful thing. A lot of people are always saying Juventus never speaks. Juventus publicly never defend themselves. They just agree, or they just keep silence. We should have, at a certain moment, some reaction. And this is what Juventus said. They saw what has been said in big red papers, in big red titles and words on papers, with Juventus is at risk. Juventus is risking this. They saw it, like we saw it this morning, and they said, in reference with what mass media and papers said this morning, we react. On the 28th of November, the 9 board members, they came to the conclusion that, and here we stop for a second, we know it and we said it, 10 members were part of the board. Here they are saying unanimously they agreed, the 9 board members. So that means, and we already understand it, that 1 board member was not agreeing with the following, with what we will read now. In the farewell letter of ex-president Andrea Agnelli, he said, we were not aligned anymore, we were not a team anymore, and this is why we are all leaving, all together, the members of the board. So 1 was absolutely not agreeing with it. The 9 others were absolutely agree with the following. So what are they saying? The financial books were handled in a way that was allowed. Immediately written by Juventus, black on white. It was allowed how we were handling the books. One thing. Then they are splitting what the public prosecutor's office is blaming Juventus for, because they are accusing us of 3 things. False accounting, split it in 2 things, manipulation of salaries, and profit cases, the plusvalenza, with some players that we sold with higher things to actually boost our books and to actually have more profit. I explained it in the video of this morning if you didn't see it. That's one thing. How the prosecutors are accusing Juventus. But they are saying Consob is reporting total different things. They are reporting way smaller plusvalenza profit values, way smaller than what the Italian prosecutors are saying and putting everywhere on papers. 1. They are never mentioning false accounting, never. And the third point, there is absolutely no mention of the salary manipulation for the season 2021. Juventus, they trust in the fact that without balance sheet alteration, so that means the books, manipulation of the books, and with the plusvalenza case that was already closed because we were already judged for that and we were cleaned about that profit case where not only Juventus was involved but also teams like Napoli and so on and so on. Juventus was already clean for that. So without alteration, without manipulation of the books, there should absolutely no be any sporting sanction because all of them would be unfounded. In the belief of acting correctly, Juventus Football Club has the intention to defend their own interest as a club, but also financially and as a sporting-wise, in all courts. Guys, this has been written on the site of Juve. If you don't believe me, a bit later you will see the English version and you can see it yourself. Well, does that mean that Juventus is a total different Juventus than we had in 2006, where we were actually not understanding what the earthquake was, how big it was, and we didn't know how to answer? This time they anticipated, they saw something and they said, no, stop. We will defend ourselves everywhere. We are clean. We acted according to the law. What we did, we think it is correct. The plusvalenza case, we were already judged and we were already clean. Stop. Stop speaking bad about Juventus. We will defend ourselves. There can't be any accusation or punishment in the sporting side. That means going in second division or losing points in the actual Serie A or the next Serie A. This is not possible. It will be unfounded. And this is the first news. A first news where Juventus is again repeating that they acted around the world. They acted according to the law. I'm really sorry. And then the second thing is that we are defending ourselves. That's one. Then, John Elkann, he also spoke. He said, a new capital increase, because there were some rumors that Juventus, with John Elkann, they would put even more money again into the club. Well, it's not necessary. We find ourselves in a situation in which there is a clear direction. As we announced yesterday, the new board of directors will be announced in January, and the president will be Gianluca Ferrero, who will know how to tackle the different issues. A big trust in Gianluca Ferrero, the new president of Juventus. Secondly, he says, the club will have a general manager who is very capable in the situation in which Juventus is at the moment. We have a great experienced coach in Massimiliano Allegri. Football is a sector of great value, and we believe that with the capabilities that Juventus has, it could become a club with much bigger value respect to the one that it has today. Guys, why am I telling you that it is a good news? Why am I saying? Because Juventus has already clear ideas. When the board, all of them, they resigned at the same moment. A few hours later, we already had in a letter the name of the new president. It means that it's not like this, that everything happened and in 5 hours you find a new president. No, things were already clear since a few days. Some people, not a lot, a few people were already understanding the situation, and we were already working into a structure. Super important, but most importantly, in the first letter of John Elkann, not the one of today, but the one of yesterday, he said that we are expecting some extraordinary things for Juventus, some bigger things for Juventus. Do you remember the video of this morning? Well, now he's continuing to say the team will have much bigger value respect to the one that it has today. So he's really thinking and believing that Juventus can grow even more, and that's the target, that's the goal. Gravina, the president of Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio, this morning he said something that for once, luckily, I totally agree with him. He said, Juventus case, no to street lynching. The issue can also concern other subjects. Let's not blame ourselves before the trials. Well, guys, here he's saying to all the other clubs and all the other supporting that since the 2 days are mocking us on the channel, under the comment section, attenzione, because it's not, the case is not only for Juve. Do you remember the plusvalenza Napoli? Attenzione to Inter, attenzione to other clubs. He's repeating it. It's not me. It's repeating it. So attention to the other ones. And one thing important, no to street lynching. In 2006, this is what happened. With the same methods as today, Gazzetta dello Sport, Corriere dello Sport, in big pages. Juve guilty, Juve this, Juve will go in B, influencing the mass. This can't happen anymore. This can't happen anymore. Today we have a channel, GJustjuve, but today we have a really great director in Tuttosport. Today we have Twitter, we have social media. I'm confident that all the other content creators that are working actually with Juve in a way, because they are speaking about Juve, are defending our club, because in the past nobody defended Juve, and this is what happened. Today I am here, and I hope my colleagues are doing the same, defending Juve. Of course, if Juventus committed something wrong, well, we will pay for it, because everyone and everything has to pay for things that they did wrong. But until that moment, and I'm confident about that big letter on the side of Juve today, we will defend ourselves, sporting wise, financially wise, but also in the interest of our beloved Juventus. That's what I will continue to do. I hope you enjoyed that small video, or small, I don't know. Anyway, a video where I try to give you up to date, step by step, what is happening and what has been reported, in anticipation of the English version that you will be able to read by yourself. Thank you, as always, Forza Juve.